Chapter 12. The Loss of Shuai. Scar, what's going on? The surrounding junior soldiers were puzzled. The scarred face was clutching a letter in his hand, but his eyes were now staring round in disbelief for a moment. A few small soldiers beside him came over to look at the letter. Scar, isn't this letter well written? Your little sister wrote a letter, saying that everything is fine at home, asking you not to worry. The crowd of junior soldiers were puzzled. Scarface said with an ugly face, No, my little sister never calls me brother. Never. The crowd revealed a bewildered look. My little sister and I are twins. She has always called me brother or directly called me by my name. She has never been so polite, calling out to my brother. How could he call out to my brother? This doesn't seem to be coming from my little sister, Scarface said in disbelief. Scar, you're overthinking it. The crowd laughed at once. Scarface still revealed bewilderment. Only Scarface knew that his little sister could never call out to his brother. But, suddenly, another person called out in disbelief. What's wrong? The crowd looked at him. Scar, this letter is mine. You've got the wrong one, right? No, my letter is in my arms. How? A bald little soldier said in shock. Bald? What did you say? The crowd looked at the bald man. The bald man took out a letter, and after unfolding it, the crowd looked up together, only to see that the two letters from Bald Head and Scar were, actually, identical. Not a single word was different. Even the handwriting was the same. The crowd around them suddenly became steeply silent. The eating they had just done also stopped. Fake. This isn't a letter from my little sister at all. It was copied by someone, Scar instantly said with a change of face. All of the people had crawled out from the pile of dead. This bit of brains was still there. The marshal said that we should exchange letters with our family. But why would it be a fake letter? This is impossible. What's going on here? The bald head exclaimed. Maybe it's Guhai's plot. A small soldier whispered. Put your mother's fart. The marshal said that he notified all the military families, so it must have been sent as a letter from home. How is it a conspiracy? Could it be that my family members are also controlled by Guhai? Otherwise, how did my family letter become fake? The bald head instantly roared angrily. With a roar, Bald Head immediately drew the attention of more and more generals around him. At the same time, the news that the family letter was fake was immediately spread out, and because this news was everyone's concern, it spread extremely fast, so fast that many generals kept turning over their family letters. Mine is also fake. Mine is real, but, the news was like waves blowing in all directions. The 800,000 troops, in the shortest possible time, quickly questioned their letters. Song City. Guhai stood on the upper floor of the Chun mansion, looking at the north with a grave expression. Guhan stood behind him. Righteous father, in the next 2 days, there should be a big showdown, Guhan sighed. A star's fire can start a prairie fire. So what if it's true? Whose letters have a fixed pattern? That's how the human heart is. Once suspicion arises, it's difficult to make them believe again. Fake letters appeared one after another all around, and even if the letters in one's hands were true, one could find flaws in them. And by then, the true letters would have turned into fake ones. In increasing order, the restlessness will be constantly contagious. Gao Xionzi's camp. The main commander's tent. Gao Xionzi had rushed back from Song City with Lin Chong's batch of people in the dust. He hadn't even had time to rest. You killed the Chen army's fluke. You killed the Chen army's heart. Now, they have no more luck. They will definitely fight to the death. And then the Tiger and Wolf generals, but also compared to the generals who do not want to die. I'll be back 2 days late. Just 2 days. Alas, Gao Xionzi said with a bitter face. Prince Song's face changed. This Wood also instantly came back to his senses. Oh no, those stupid spies. sending me back such a stupid message. Crown Prince Song's face instantly changed drastically. Gao Xianzi comforted. Not bad. Take Yuhai. I'll break him into pieces, Prince Song said with an ugly face. Reports, Marshal. It's bad. The generals have mutinied again. Mutiny again. There are more people this time, Marshal. At that moment, a small soldier ran into the tent. What? Prince Song's face changed in shock. Mutiny. Mutiny again. What kind of demon is this Guhai? How long has it been since the 800,000 Tiger Wolf army mutinied? What kind of war is this? Gao Xianzi's pupils shrunk. Guhai, I knew it. I knew it. Luckily, I've already led 800,000 troops to come. And the big battle is coming soon, or else. If I give you any more time, my entire army will be scattered. What's going on? Lin Chong called out to the junior soldier. Taking out the money from the bottom of the cauldron. I should have killed those rich merchants long ago. Gao Xianzi was horrified and instantly figured everything out. Wow. There was a lot of noise outside, and a large number of angry, abusive voices came from outside the tent. And this time, it came in a fierce and loud manner. The Prince of Song stood in the middle of the tent, and all of them were in a state of trepidation. Gao Xianzi's eyelids twitched for a moment, and he took a deep breath and said, Go, let's go out together. Tiger Prison Pass, above the city tower, a white-haired Guqin, holding onto the city wall, his eyes staring dead on in the distance to the south. Behind them stood Chen Chongshen and Chen Liongyi. Marshal, the army inside the pass has been reorganized. What should we do now? Just now, scouts came to report that Gao Xianzi has returned to the camp, and with an army of 800,000, a general attack is imminent, Chen Liangyo said with an anxious face. Don't worry, Righteous Father has arranged everything. Gao Xianzi return to camp is useless, as long as cooperates with Righteous Father on the line. 800,000 army, it's going to be chaos soon. Guqin gave a faint light laugh and said, Guhai's arrangement. What arrangement? Chen Liongyi immediately asked after him. However, Guqin did not explain, but instead looked at the south with a deadpan expression. On the side, Chen Chongshen frowned slightly and said, I remember, 3 days ago, you sent a group of people out of Tiger Dungeon Pass, about 40 people. All of them were your Gu family's home guards, right? Your close friends. What did you send these 40 people out to Tiger Prison Pass for? Their cultivation isn't that high. Guqin smiled faintly and said, They went to be mountain bandits. There will be firework signals coming back. Mountain bandits. Chen Chongshen and Chen Liongyi revealed a bewildered look. Gao Xianzi's camp. The matter of the family letters of the 800,000 troops was extremely huge to inquire about, but Gao Xianzi used his prestige and unremitting efforts to finally find out about it a day later, on top of a handsome platform in the camp. Generals, I'm back, and I've found out what happened to you yesterday. I know that your hearts are in turmoil at the moment. I know that you're restless, but I still have to say that everything. There are people of the ancient sea, so give you family book falsification. The purpose is to borrow you all, to disrupt my army. Gao Xianzi let out a shout. Their letter came from the rich merchants, but my letter came from the official transporter. Why is my letter also fake? Someone shouted. The people below were about to boil over. Good question. Gao Xianzi interrupted the crowd with a loud shout. Gao Xianzi stared in that direction and said, Are you sure? Your letter must be fake. Can't your family write this kind of letter? Why are you sure it must be fake? I guess it should be that you see that other people's letters are fake, and that's why you are suspicious, right? That person was questioned by Gao Xianzi and immediately frowned as if that was the case. That's your family book, yes. You're just self-doubting. Don't be a human being, Gao Xianzi said. Me. The man frowned in a dilemma. What the marshal said seemed to make sense, but Gao Xianzi looked around and said, Generals, it is also my marshal's negligence. I should not have given that group of rich merchants a chance. I, Gao Xianzi, assure all of you that your family members are definitely safe and absolutely unharmed. No one should try to harm them. No one. The generals topped Gao Xianzi, and for a moment their complexion was slightly complicated. I know, you all want to go home right now, I understand, but victory is just around the corner. Do you see it? When you return home, how will you face your parents, wives and children? Why are you so cowardly? Gao Xianzi let out a loud shout. Many of the generals looked embarrassed. Assure everyone, as long as we capture Hudian Pass, one after another in batches, keep going home to save your parents, soon. As long as we capture Hudian Pass, as long as the capture of Hudian Pass, Gao Xianzi shouted. Many generals clenched their fists even though their hearts were in turmoil. Let Lin Chong come and tell you all about it. Lin Chong, I'm sure you all know him. Not long ago, quite a few people asked for their lives together for him, Gao Xianzi bellowed. For their military dependents will be punished for a great crime. The marshal does what he says. Thank you all brothers a period of time ago for me. I want to tell you that the martial military order is like a mountain. Words are true. The royal grandson, Song Jiangxi, in front of me was beheaded, really beheaded. At that time, a lot of brothers witnessed it. Royal grandson, really beheaded, really chopped. If the grandson can be beheaded, who can't be beheaded? The marshal will honor his word. We shouldn't disbelieve the marshal. Don't listen to Gu Hai's conspiracy. I believe in the marshal. He can even behead the imperial grandson. The marshal won't lie to us. Beheading the imperial grandson. Then I'll believe anything the marshal says. The bottom was a buzz. The generals believed that Lin Chong would definitely not lie, but he had risked killing his head to lead the mutiny in the first place. His whole family was killed by Song Jiangxi, and if Song Jiangxi didn't die, Lin Chong couldn't have been so determined. The marshal has killed Song Jiangxi. What else do we have to worry about? Beside Lin Chong, Gao Xianzi let out a long breath. Finally, the hearts of the generals were pulled back, killing an imperial grandson, gaining 800,000 military hearts. Everything is worth it. Gao Xianzi understands. 800,000 people. Once the camp is blown up and in chaos, how horrible the situation will be. Good. Now, build a fire to make a meal, and after eating, we will immediately reorganize the army and attack Hudian Pass immediately. Gao Xianzi let out a loud shout. Roar. The generals let out a roar. What? So fast? Marshal, you're back and haven't rested yet. Why don't you rest for a night, and then consolidate your army to attack Hudian Pass? Prince Song was surprised. Gao Xianzi rushed back in the dust. His person is going to be emaciated, and yesterday, he was working non-stop to study the cause of the mutiny. He didn't even have a good rest. As if his heart is exhausted, and now he is launching a general attack. One meal. Nothing should happen, right? Oh, look. Is that the imperial grandson? What? You're looking at it wrong. The marshal has said that the imperial grandson has been killed. Yes, it's definitely not the imperial grandson. Would Lin Chong still lie to us? It's impossible for the marshal to lie to us. But I've seen it in Song City. He's the imperial grandson. He's the imperial grandson. The generals who were still in high morale just a moment ago, suddenly a part of them stirred up. All because, in the distance on a small hill ran down a person, a man with a cloak of hair and tattered clothes. In the past, there would have been generals who would have shot or taken down this intruder. Lin Chong turned his head and saw Song Jiangxi's appearance in an instant, and his entire body suddenly trembled. No, his entire body trembled. Impossible, impossible. Lin Chong's eyes went wide as he kept roaring in shock. Song Jiangxi. Even if he turned into ashes, Lin Chong would still recognize him. Wasn't he beheaded? How could that be? Huh. Prince Song also let out a shriek. These days, Prince Song's heart was filled with hatred. He hated Gu Hai. He hated Gao Xianzi. He hated Lin Chong. His own most beloved son was actually forced to kill. And there was nothing he could do about it. If God can return my son, I would rather reduce my life by 10 years, but everything is impossible. But now, Song Zhengxi suddenly appeared. Prince Song rubbed his eyes. Is this real? Is this my son? He's still alive. When Gao Xianzi saw Song Zhengxi, he even flashed an expression of shocked occasion in his eyes. Impossible. How could it be? How can there be such a resemblance? Where did Gu Hai find such a similar person? However, he saw that the wretched Song Zhengxi saw Prince Song and ran over. Father, my child has finally found you. I almost died at the hands of the mountain bandits. Quickly go over there and help me capture the mountain bandits. They want to kill me. Song Zhengxi cried out with a loud cry. Prince Song and Gao Xianzi, with a near simultaneous jolt, suddenly felt their hands and feet go cold, and a cold sweat descended all over their bodies. Was it really Song Zhengxi? And at this moment, the crowd of generals and soldiers who had just been so determined suddenly looked at Gao Xianzi with expressionless faces. Those 800,000 expressionless faces had already told everything. The prestige that Gao Xianzi had in the hearts of the crowd was gone.